How exactly does blockchain technology work? What makes cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum tick? Or why so many experts say blockchain is going to revolutionize everything from finance to healthcare? Today, we were going to break down exactly how blockchain technology works in a way that is simple yet deep enough to give you a real understanding. By the end of this video, you'll not only know how blockchain functions, but you will see why it is considered one of the most secure and transformative technologies of our time. So make sure you stick around till the end, hit that like button, and subscribe for more content that makes complex tech easy to understand. Blockchain might sound complicated, but at its core, it's a clever system for keeping records that no single person or company can manipulate. Think of it as a digital ledger, a notebook that's shared across thousands, sometimes millions, of computers. Each time a transaction occurs, it's written into this ledger, but once it's written, it's nearly impossible to change. The reason it's so secure is that this ledger isn't stored in one place. Instead, it's distributed across an entire network, and each copy is verified by the others. We'll explore exactly how this verification works in just a moment, but first, let's talk about the structure of the blockchain itself. At the heart of blockchain are blocks, small data containers that store information about transactions. Each block contains a list of transactions, a timestamp, and a reference to the previous block, which is called a hash. This hash is a unique digital fingerprint generated by complex mathematical algorithms. What makes it mind-blowingly secure is that even the tiniest change in the block's data completely alters the hash. This creates a chain of blocks that is incredibly resistant to tampering because if someone tries to change one block, the rest of the chain no longer matches. And yes, we'll go into why this is a game changer for security in just a few minutes. Now you might be wondering how these blocks are created in the first place. This is where miners come in, or in some newer systems, validators. Miners use powerful computers to solve complex mathematical puzzles, a process called proof of work. Solving these puzzles confirms transactions and adds a new block to the blockchain. The first miner to solve the puzzle is rewarded, often in cryptocurrency, which creates an incentive to keep the network honest and running. In systems that use proof of stake instead, validators are chosen to create new blocks based on the amount of cryptocurrency they hold and are willing to stake as collateral. Both methods ensure that no single person or entity can manipulate the blockchain, and we'll break down the pros and cons of each approach later in the video. Understanding consensus is crucial to understanding blockchain. The network relies on consensus mechanisms to agree on which transactions are valid. Without consensus, there would be chaos, double spending, fake transactions, and a complete breakdown of trust. Proof of work achieves this by requiring computational effort, while proof of stake relies on financial investment. But both methods ensure that the majority of the network agrees before any data is added to the chain. This is why blockchain is often called trustless. You don't need to trust any single participant because the system itself enforces honesty. Security is only part of the story. Blockchain is also revolutionary because it's transparent yet private. Every transaction is recorded and visible on the blockchain, meaning anyone can verify it. At the same time, personal information isn't necessarily exposed, thanks to cryptographic techniques that protect user identities. This combination of transparency and privacy is what makes blockchain ideal for applications beyond cryptocurrency. Think supply chain management, voting systems, and healthcare record keeping. Later, we'll explore some real-world examples that show blockchain isn't just a tech buzzword, it is actively reshaping industries. Another important concept is smart contracts. These are self-executing programs that automatically carry out agreements when certain conditions are met. Imagine signing a contract that doesn't require lawyers, middlemen, or delays. Smart contracts handle everything automatically. They're stored on the blockchain, which means they're secure, transparent, and immutable. Ethereum, one of the most popular blockchain platforms, made smart contracts mainstream, but their potential extends far beyond digital currencies. Later in this video, we'll look at some fascinating applications of smart contracts in real businesses. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Blockchain isn't just about finance or contracts. It's also changing how we think about data ownership and decentralization. Traditionally, tech giants control vast amounts of our data, but blockchain allows us to retain control, securely share information, and even monetize our own data if we choose. This is the foundation for the concept of Web3. Where the internet is less about centralized companies and more about empowering individual users. We'll dive deeper into this revolutionary shift later, so stay tuned. By now, you might be asking, if blockchain is so secure and revolutionary, why isn't everyone using it yet? The answer lies in scalability and energy consumption. Proof-of-work blockchains like Bitcoin consume enormous amounts of electricity. They also have limitations in how many transactions they can process per second. However, newer technologies like proof-of-stake, layer 2 solutions, and sharding are addressing these challenges. Later in this video, we'll break down these solutions and show you how the next generation of blockchain could be faster, greener, and more scalable than ever before. Let's also talk about decentralization in practice. Decentralization isn't just a buzzword, it's the reason blockchain can operate without a central authority. Every participant in the network has a copy of the blockchain, and decisions are made collectively. This means no single point of failure exists, which drastically reduces the risk of fraud, hacking, or manipulation. We'll compare this with traditional centralized systems to highlight exactly why blockchain is revolutionary, and you'll see why many governments and businesses are investing heavily in this technology. Towards the end, we'll explore some real-life case studies. How Walmart uses blockchain to track food safety, how De Beers monitors diamonds to prevent conflict sourcing, and how banks are experimenting with blockchain to streamline cross-border payments. These examples illustrate that blockchain isn't just theoretical. It's actively solving problems and creating opportunities in the real world. By the time we finish, you'll understand not just the how of blockchain, but the why. Why it's secure, why it's transparent, why it's decentralized, and why it has the potential to transform industries. If you've learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into the tech shaping our future. Stick around till the very end, because we're going to share a few surprising ways blockchain could impact your daily life, even if you don't own cryptocurrency. Finally, we'll address some common misconceptions. Blockchain is not magic, it's not anonymous by default, and it's not immune to flaws, but when implemented correctly, it's one of the most secure and reliable systems ever created. We'll explain why these myths persist, and what you really need to know to separate hype from reality. By the end of this journey, you'll have a solid understanding of blockchain from blocks, hashes, and consensus to smart contracts, decentralization, and real-world applications. You will see why experts are calling it revolutionary and why it is poised to influence everything from finance to healthcare, supply chains, voting systems, and beyond. If this video has changed the way you think about technology, make sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations. You'll walk away not just informed, but empowered to understand one of the most important technologies of our time.